A man who confessed in the gruesome murder of his girlfriend nearly 2 years ago is saying no to a plea deal that would cut his sentence down from life in prison to just 40 years.
I think Mr. Green understands the plea and the ramifications, so he's pleading not guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
32-year-old Nigel Green faces a capital murder charge for killing this woman, 28-year-old Karina Castellanos. Detectives say Green confessed to killing her after her mother reported her missing. During the investigation, Green led them to her body in a cornfield near Mathis. Green had previous charges pending, including aggravated assault and assault violence against Castellanos. If convicted, Green could face life in prison without the possibility of parole.